Yo, guys, what's up? It's that dude Burst, a pimple, thirst to bibble, something like that. You guys know what it is already. You've heard and seen me before. Let's not acting like you've never heard of me before. But anyway, quick disclaimer: the set you're seeing in the background, you're not gonna see the entire set. I'm gonna put it in a separate video, only because the set took 40 minutes. So you'll see most of it, maybe half of it, but you won't see all of it. So I'll update this video when the full set is out, which if you're a sub of mine, you'll get email alerts letting you know that it's already up. So I won't have to update this video, but if I must, it'll be there. Alrighty. Another thing too, everything that I'm about to say at the beginning of this video is how I felt a few years ago. It's not a reflection on how I feel now, so I don't want anybody to feel like I'm throwing shade or trying to shit on somebody. That's not what we're about anymore, alright? So, where do I begin? Today is episode 5, where we talk about TKK and the King Kindred. This is a big one. This changed a lot it changed the YouTube community. It changed the YouTube scene. Changed how I view Street Fighter, how I view the game, and how I view YouTube, actually. It also showed, how I used to view life. The reason why is because this is one of the biggest rivalries, in my opinion, on YouTube. I've seen a lot of rivalries, but this is probably one of the most substantial. So let's get into it. So this is everything from my perspective, alright? I'm sure TKK probably will, or he will not, make his own video about it. He is still active, he is posting videos, doing his own thing and stuff like that. So he may post a response. Feel free to post a response of your, the way you remember it. And, because if you see it differently, that's fine. So just, post your video response or leave it in the comments. I'm always open to hearing what you guys got to say. So anyway, let's get started. Episode 5, TKK. Anyway, so here's how I remember it starting. We were hosting a Street Fighter 4, the vanilla Street Fighter 4 tournament. It was online only. It was for FNEX. And I remember I won that one. That's the one where I beat, I think it was J Legend. It's one of the Balrog players, either D-Dog or J Legend, one of them. Anyway, I ended up beating him, and I get a message, like, I want to say maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes after, I win the tournament, and it's from King Kindred. And it's just like every other message that came about, at that time. You know how people were, I'm just looking to get some matches in and stuff like that. And I remember having every intention on responding, but I was just so high off of winning the tournament that I was just like, oh fuck, I'll deal with it later. Word started getting around that I was ducking him. Now I'm a pretty, I'm human, so I'm a forgetful person at times, so when I saw the message, when he sent it to me, I immediately opened it, and this is just what I remember. I'm probably missing some stuff, so I'll admit to that, but so when he sent me the message, I opened it, and then, I didn't respond right away, like I said, because I just won the tournament after I said I was going to win the tournament. So it was a big thing for me. I was like running around, being obnoxious, acting like an idiot, So then, the next day, I get another message, and did I get another message? I think I got another message, and I may not have responded to that one either. So I get how it looked like I was ducking, but you gotta understand, at that point in time, I was getting messages on the PlayStation, on the Xbox. Oh no, I did get a message because he sent it to my PlayStation as well. So he sent it to my Xbox and he sent it to my my PlayStation. So I was getting a lot of messages, and it was all the same thing. I just want to fight you, blah 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 blah. And I was always down for it, you know what I'm saying? But I was getting a lot of messages. So after I didn't respond to the PlayStation, I think he sent me a comment on YouTube, right? And on YouTube is where I guess it started to pick up. Because at that point, it was like, all right, if he doesn't answer me here, he's definitely ducking me, right? So I don't know if it was him that was, actually I think it was him that was saying it, that I was ducking him, and that I didn't want to fight him because I was scared and all this other shit, right? Now, mind you, I had every intention of getting back to him. Why I didn't, it could have been because of my baby, about to be born. It could be, I had just lost my job. It could be, a number of things. There was a million things that was going on, and, not to make excuses, because it's not. I should have fucking responded if I wanted to, you know what I mean? If I was going to, I should have, and that was my fault, but I'm glad it played out the way it did, because, there was a lot that happened. But anyway, it was, because it was like a learning experience to me. But anyway, I think he hit me up on YouTube. Now, we were about to do this FNEX chat thing or whatever, right? This FNEX podcast we normally do. We do videos and stuff like that. We talk about what's going on in the community. We talk about what's going on in the game. Just mindless banter or whatever. And TKK's name got brought up, and it was funny because everybody said that he hit them up with like the same exact message. Yo, I'm just trying to play. Blah 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 blah. Excuse my phone. Yeah, I'm just trying to play. I see you guys on YouTube doing your thing. Respect. Stuff like that. And then somebody said, "Oh yeah, he said you ducking him or whatever." And I'm like, ducking him. And I was full of myself at the time. Because I considered myself to be one of the better YouTubers as far as playing Street Fighter out there. You know what I mean? In which a lot of people will tell you the same thing because I was kind of like the boss battle. People would fight everybody else, and then when they got to me, it was like the big deal. Not to say that it wasn't a big deal when everybody else was playing each other, because it was definitely a big deal, and it was good too. God damn. It was good too because it did a lot for the community. Sorry, I had to mute my phone. It was fucking going off. It did a lot for the community because it was more content. There was more people fighting. There was a lot going on. So yeah, somebody brought up his name and that he said I was ducking him. So I can't remember. My mind is a little fuzzy on if he said it in a video or if he said it to somebody or in a comment or if he said it to me directly, but or to somebody directly. But yeah, I don't remember how it went down, but somebody ended up saying in the podcast thing that he was saying I was ducking him, and of course my big-headed ass was like, "What, ducking him? You fucking crazy. I ain't ducking nobody." You know what I'm saying? And I kind of went on a tangent, and when I went on a tangent, at the time, you know what? I don't think I said anything really disrespectful outside of what the fuck do I need to be ducking somebody for? Now if I did, please correct me. This is the only thing I'm not really sure about because this is what started it. You know what I mean? And there was a lot that happened when it started, but I remember I was saying something in the stream, and I was like, "Yeah, I ain't fucking ducking nobody." Blah 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 blah. I may have said some derogatory shit. I'm you know what? We'll just say I did say some derogatory shit, just cuz, right? So I get all off my shit. I get disrespectful in the fucking video. And then, boom, shit just blew the fuck up from there. Like, shit just got fucking crazy. And the start of it was my fault, I want to say. But then again, I will say it was kind of his fault, too. Because, he was saying, "Oh, you ducking me. You a bitch," and all this other shit, right? And my thing is like, why you got to come at somebody like that? Especially if you trying to get, you trying to get a match or whatever. I'm trying to hit you off with a match. Or you want me to play you, the best way to do it is to fucking curse me out and all this other shit. Now, one of the things is that I will admit, after it was either right before the chat or right after the chat, it started to feel like a witch hunt. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I looked at it. It was like a witch hunt. He's trying to body everybody, and he's trying to make a name off of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, prior to this, I never heard of TKK, and from what Antoine Ortiz was saying, he never heard of TKK. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people didn't hear of TKK, as far as from my perspective. Now, these could be people that was just taking my side and was just like, "Oh, I never heard of him," but actually did know him. You know what I mean? I was just like, I was taking it like, yeah, nobody never heard of you, nigga. Like, you talking about you tournament, no killing, nobody heard of you. You know what I'm saying? So, it just looked like he was trying to make a name off of us. You know what I mean? And I wasn't hearing that shit. You know what I'm saying? I had to protect what we built. You know what I'm saying? We built a community. We built a scene. We had fans. You know what I'm saying? I'm protecting that. And you gonna come and just try to shit on us? Like, that's not a respectful way of doing anything. Let me just shit on, you know, all the people that's doing it. Like, I like your work and shit, but you just saying you like my work just because you don't actually like my work. In the back of your head, you're like, oh, fuck this nigga, I could body him. Why is he getting on these views? I'm just gonna take over his views. You know what I'm saying? Or his subscribers and shit. Like, that's fucked up. Niggas is trying to eat. Niggas just trying to, you know, we trying to do it out here. And I wasn't about to have anybody take it from me. You know what I mean? I definitely wasn't about to have nobody take it from me. Especially somebody who's just like, you know, who's just talking shit, being cocky as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I could understand if he was like a Justin Wong or somebody that you actually know. But I didn't know of him. I never heard of TKK. You know what I'm saying? Never, ever, ever. You know, and that goes back to what I was saying in my first video. Like, you know, I was playing competitively for before 2008. You know what I'm saying? And nobody knew of me until 2009. You know, so, and I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just going based off of what we saw or what I saw and what was happening during my part of it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, people probably actually did know of him. You know, people in his town probably knew of him. You know, he brings up the same names a few times. I think Antoine Ortiz, John Choi, and all of them. So they probably knew him, you know. But as far as what people were saying to me, like people who was in his scene and shit like that, they were telling me different. They was like, I never heard of this nigga. He ain't never won nothing. I don't know what you worry about. You need to just play that nigga, blah, blah, blah. At the same time, they could have been setting me up. There was a lot of shit that was going through my head where that was going down. And I seem to be the only one adamant about protecting our shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, we built this, you know. And like I said in my last video, we were just trying to help people. Like, yo, we want you to get better, blah, 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 blah. We're tired of fighting scrubs. It was all the same shit, you know what I mean? Like, we were doing something positive, and then somebody negative is coming trying to shit on us. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck that. I don't want nothing to do with them, you know? And it just got, it got crazy. Like, it's one of those things where, like, if you say something about me, I have to have a rebuttal because I'm not about to look like no bitch on the internet. You know what I'm saying? So he said, like, he made his video. I didn't see his video until, like, what was I can't remember what I was doing, but somebody had linked it to me and was like, yo, TKK is, like, going ham. And I watched the video, and sure enough, he was going fucking ham. I forgot what he was saying, but he was calling me all types of names, just shitting on me. And again, I'm like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? And I can't remember if he had already played DSP or if he was about to play DSP. I can't remember, but even after he played DSP, I was like, yo, like, if it may have been, he may have did this after he played DSP. And I was like, yo, like, you only got all your subs and shit because of DSP. If you delete your shit right now, you ain't gonna have nobody following you, you know? And that was the biggest thing with us. Like, we just kept going back and forth over, like, nonsense. Like, none of that shit mattered. What should have went down is I should have just played him and got it over with. But like I said, I had to protect my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna let somebody come in and be, you know, negative when we trying to do something positive. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get people better. We throwing tournaments, giving away free prizes, free entry. None of that shit was going down after TKK. TKK never, you know, did any of that shit for anybody. You know, he had his VGAML, I think it was. He had that shit. He wasn't throwing tournaments for people, not that I saw. He wasn't giving away free shit, not that I saw. You know, I don't remember him going to tournaments and signing autographs and shit like that. Like, I don't remember any of that from him. You know, so when he came in and was just trying to make a name, like, think about how it looks from my perspective. Like, he sent everybody the same exact message, so it wasn't, nobody got anything different. It was all the same message. It was like, I like your channel, I'm trying to play, blah 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 blah, right? And it was the same exact copy and paste message to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Then he starts saying I'm ducking him. You know, what reason do I have to duck you? You know, and then he had the whole DSP thing, and then he started going ham. He made that video like shitting on me, and it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at it from my perspective. Of course, I'm gonna get defensive. Not to say that it's all on him, because it's not all on him. I have my rebuttals. I said my fucked up shit, you know. But of course I'm gonna fucking we gonna bump heads. You know what I'm saying? I'm the loudest person in my group. I'm probably the only person in the group that ever fought. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was the only one that was like ready to throw down over this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was the only one that was confrontational enough that was like, nah, you know, I'm fuck that. I'm defending myself and I'm defending my shit. We built this, that's it. You know, I'm not letting nobody come in and shit on us. So we started talking about each other's houses and living situations. We started talking about each other's haircuts and fucking body builds, and like it just became less and less about the game and more like just personal, you know. And like I said, I'm glad it went down because it was like a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if I would have just let him, like, I feel like the outcome would have been the same. If we would have played when he first told me to play, or, you know, if we'd have played when we actually played, I feel like the outcome would have been the same. He would have still bodied me. But I just feel like there wouldn't have been no respect behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fucking fought for my spot. You know what I'm saying? I was not letting my spot go. You know, not to say that I was like the top YouTuber or anything like that, but I was definitely not letting shit just slide. You know, so sorry, I'm fucking sick and shit. So yeah, I definitely wasn't about to let shit go down like that. I was definitely about to fight for my spot, and I definitely was not about to let anybody just, you know, come in and take over. So he ends up like blowing through all of us. Like, he ended up blowing through all of us. And then before I get to that part, let me explain something to you guys too. You know, I was nervous fighting this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was nervous. Like, I did not want to fight this dude because I had a feeling he was going to beat me. You know what I'm saying? Not only because I was afraid of the Balrog match, but just in general, I just had a feeling he was going to beat me. You know, and I kind of mind-fucked myself early on, you know what I'm saying? Because, not to say that I was a bad player, but who the fuck gets hit by 5 overheads in one go? Or however many overheads that was in one go. You know what I'm saying? So, I was nervous to fight that dude because I had a feeling he was going to win. You know what I'm saying? I had a feeling he was going to win, and I did not want to lose, you know, on some dumb shit, you know. And I was really mind-fucked. You know what I'm saying? I mind-fucked myself, and I ended up getting, like, fucking bodied. Like, he beat the shit out of me. And it kind of was the beginning of the end of, you know, the whole YouTube community. You know what I'm saying? Because the shit got super negative. Everybody was fighting with each other. People were fighting in the comment boxes. Like, people were fighting over, you know, it became segregated. I had my fans, they had their fans, or subscribers, I should say. Everybody had their own subscribers, you know, in their respective videos or whatever, but nobody, we didn't share them like how we used to. Because before TKK came, we used to share our subs. Like, I had subs that would go watch Alvarez. Alvarez had subs that would go watch Burn. Burn had subs that would go watch Lupasan, you know, so on and so forth. But when TKK came, it just became segregated. I had my own side because people were taking my side. He had his side because people were taking his side. Then you had the neutral side who weren't on both our sides. They were on like free one up side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just became negative, and it became a fucked up place for people to hang out. You know what I'm saying? Because people were they couldn't wait to get up and just watch what we were putting on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I had my stupid skits and my sets, you know what I'm saying? My Street Fighter sets. And then like Lupasan had his skits and his Street Fighter sets. And you know what I'm saying? We had channel updates out the ass. You know, we were always getting together and shit. But when TKK came, it just became like a split. You know what I'm saying? And it was never the same since then. I think the only thing that would have changed was, or that would have been different if I would have just fought him right then and there, is that I would have been disrespected because I'm sure he would have just been talking shit about it anyway. Because that's just his character to just be talking shit. So I'm sure he would have talked shit anyway. But the scene wouldn't have died because it wouldn't have been littered with all this negativity. It was just so much negativity. And like I said, I'm not just throwing this shit on TKK because it's not all him. You know, it was a joint thing. It was myself and him. You know, but I'm just telling it from my perspective. You know, and he's not the same person that he was. At least, you know, he's not the same person to me that he was, and I'm not the same person to him as I was back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So when I say that's just his character, that's not his character now. That's probably it was his character back in the day. Anybody who was around during his time knows that was his character during the day, back in the day or whatever. So he ended up taking out everybody. He took out 3-1 Up, took out Lupasan, took me out, took out DK, took out Infiltrate. Like, he beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was just okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's just like, all right, fuck it. He beat us, so what? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I just wasn't cool with that shit. I'm not cool with just losing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cool with just getting bodied. I'm not cool with that shit. You know? So it did drag on. You know, he eventually ended up beating me, but I put up a fight, bro, and I wasn't hearing that shit. And like, I remember there was a stream for Dark Knight, and Dark Knight got his ass whooped. It was like 10-0 or some shit like that. He got bodied 10-0 on stream. And then, like, to show you how fucked up TKK is, at the time, he beat him. He said his little, you know, his sly remark or whatever, good games, blah, 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 and then he just left the game and shut the stream off. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, I don't know, man. It was a different time back then. It's not the same anymore. You know what I mean? So it's all love now, you know. That's my dude, and I really respect him now, you know. And I get what he was trying to do back in the day, you know. I get it, you know. I understand 100%. I was just ignorant. I was a kid, you know, and I'm definitely not like that anymore. I view him with a lot of respect. What he's doing with his family. He just had a kid. He came to my wedding. You know what I'm saying? He was there for the wedding, got us a gift and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, so we're looking at us now and how we were back then. It's just it's like completely different. You would never think you'd see us in the same room. Like, we were hugging and shit. Like, it's ridiculous, you know. And he's literally like a big bro to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect him 100%, you know. And I thank him for this situation, because if it wasn't for the situation, I feel like I wouldn't have got the views that I got. I wouldn't have had the subs that I got. You know, it did change the YouTube landscape, but I do see my part in destroying it, and I hope you guys see my part in rebuilding it. You know, this is me rebuilding the community before 5 comes out, you know, so that everybody's willing and wanting to make videos again, so we can share subs, so it could be a positive thing, so people can get better and, you know, learn and shit like that. I mean, it's different now because everybody's good, or, you know, it's easier to get good, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just want this whole thing to be positive again with the inclusion of TKK. You know what I'm saying? Like, before, we all had left and it was just TKK. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be all of us and TKK. You know, so that's the whole point of this whole series. I just want everybody to start making videos again. Video responses, channel updates, skits, you know what I'm saying? Skype calls, you know, just being in chats together, being in the comment boxes and shit like that. It's going to take a lot, you know what I'm saying? But fuck it, I'm willing to do it. You know what I mean? And like I said, TKK and I buried the hatchet years ago, bro. Like, that's why we were able to play a set. You know what I'm saying? We were just able to randomly get together and play a set. You know what I'm saying? We've been buried the hatchet, you know. And like I said, I got a lot of respect for him and his family. Much love to him, you know. And, you know, thank you, man. Thank you for fucking being around, you know. Thank you for coming and you know, showing us some humble cake, you know what I'm saying? Some humble pie, giving us a slice of humble pie, you know what I mean? Thanks for coming over and beating our ass, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, if you wouldn't have came, if there wasn't no TKK, I'd still be this big-headed fucking asshole that's on YouTube. Not to say that this changed my life, but it definitely changed my online personality, you know what I'm saying? I was just a fucking dick, you know, and I'm not a dick anymore, you know? I'm not an asshole. It definitely showed me that I don't, you know, stop being a fucking dick to people that watch you. You know what I'm saying? People that just want to play you and shit like that, you know? So, I do appreciate going through this because it was a learning experience, you know? And we said a lot of harsh shit, you know? I threatened to beat his ass and beat him with a bat. He threatened to shoot me and shit. Like, it became way beyond the game, and it shouldn't have even have been like that, you know? But it is what it is, right? It happened. We all moved past it. If we can move past it, you guys can move past it, right? So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. You know, hopefully you, I guess you guys remember it. I hope you remember it. Remembered what happened there. I mean, there was a lot that went into the whole beef that we had, but I'm not gonna get into the specifics. It's already been 25 fucking minutes. You know, so I'm not gonna get into specifics of everything, every video we made against each other, every mama joke, every fucking, you know, money joke. I got this many pairs of shades. I got this much. This cost this much. Blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get into all of that shit, but I will say it was a learning experience, and I do appreciate this nigga. You know, I appreciate him for playing the set with me. I appreciate him, you know, the guidance from when it happened. We weren't trying to hear each other back in the day, but he is a cool fucking dude, bro. He's a really cool dude. And if you haven't subbed to him yet, if you don't know he's on YouTube, his YouTube is all about TKK. Bro, if you're watching, man, thanks a lot. I appreciate everything you did. I'm glad this whole beef thing is over. And I really did enjoy it. I enjoyed the whole beef thing because I love confrontation, so I did enjoy it. But it's over now. I'm sure I'll beef with somebody else in the coming years. We just know better. We know how to act now. You know what I mean? So thanks for everything you did, bro. And thanks for you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode. I'm going to be talking about how Fight Nation became offline because TKK played a big role in that. He beat us offline. He beat us so bad that we didn't want to play online no more. So we ended up going offline. That's not true, but that's what it looked like. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next episode, alrighty? Peace.
Creatures in the street start to have